Literally was one of Lexi's favorite words, which she deployed even when the situation was anything but literal. In this case, for once, it was more or less true. Trip, from his spot beside her, absent-mindedly ran one hand through his hair. The sun was high overhead now, and the sweat made his curls stand up rather rakishly. He had been playing basketball at the community center when he heard fire trucks wailing, but had thought nothing of it. This morning he had been particularly preoccupied, but in truth, he likely would not have noticed anyway. Then, at 1, when everyone got hungry and decided to call it a game, he had driven home. True to form, even with the windows down, he had not noticed the huge cloud of smoke wafting toward him, and he only began to realize something was wrong when he found his street blocked off by a police car. After 10 minutes of explaining, he had finally been allowed to park his Jeep across from the house, where Lexi and Moody were already waiting. The three of them sat on the car's roof in order, as they had in all the family portraits that had once hung in the stairwell and were now reduced to ash. Lexi, Trip, Moody. Senior, junior, sophomore. Beside them they felt the hole that Izzy, the freshman, the black sheep, the wild card, had left behind, though they were still certain, all of them, that this hole would be temporary. "What was she thinking?" Moody muttered. And Lexi said, "Even she knows she's gone too far this time. That's why she ran off. When she comes back, Mom is going to murder her." "Where are we going to stay?" Trip asked. A moment of silence unreeled as they contemplated their situation. "We'll get a hotel room or something," said Lexi finally. "I think that's what Josh Trammell's family did." Everyone knew this story. How a few years ago Josh Trammell, a sophomore, had fallen asleep with a candle lit and burned his parents' house down. The long-standing rumor at the high school was that it wasn't a candle, it was a joint, but the house had been so thoroughly gutted there was no way to tell. And Josh had stuck to his candle story. Everyone still thought of him as that dumbass jock who burned the house down, even though that had been ages ago, and Josh had recently graduated from Ohio State with honors. Now, of course, Josh Trammell's fire would no longer be the most famous fire in Shaker Heights. "One hotel room? For all of us?" "Whatever. 2 rooms. Or we'll stay at the Embassy Suites, I don't know." Lexi tapped her fingers against her knee. She wanted a cigarette, but after what had just happened, and in full view of her mother and 10 firemen, she didn't dare light one. "Mom and Dad will figure it out, and the insurance will pay for it." Although she had only a vague sense of how insurance worked, this seemed plausible. In any case, this was a problem for the adults, not for them. The last of the firemen were emerging from the house, pulling the masks from their faces. Most of the smoke had gone, but a mugginess still hung everywhere, like the air in the bathroom after a long, hot shower. The roof of the car was getting hot, and Tripp stretched his legs down the windshield, poking the wipers with the toe of his flip-flop. Then he started to laugh. "What's so funny?" Lexi said. "Just picturing Izzy running around striking matches everywhere," he snorted. "The nutcase." Moody drummed a finger on the roof rack. "Why is everybody so sure she did it?" "Come on," Tripp jumped down off the car. "It's Izzy. And we're all here. Mom's here, Dad's on his way. Who's missing?" "So Izzy's not here. She's the only one who could be responsible?" "Responsible?" put in Lexi. "Izzy?" "Dad was at work," Tripp said. "Lexi was at Serena's. I was over at Sussex playing ball. You?" Moody hesitated. "I biked over to the library." "There. You see?" To Tripp, the answer was obvious. The only ones here were Izzy and Mom was asleep.